Welcome to Two Guys, Two Questions, a chaotic, unscripted podcast.
Yeah, surprise questions with no prep.
I'm Ryan Keaton, a real estate guy who's happiest with an ocean view.
And I'm Jarrod Greer, a retro toy fanatic / loather who may or may not have a Batman cape within arm's reach right now.
You definitely do.
You don't know that.
From alligators to vibrators, superheroes to existential crisis, we cover it all.
Plus, every month we'll bring in a mystery guest and try to keep things extra unpredictable.
So if you like spontaneous conversations, French bulldogs stealing the show, and two guys who think they're funnier than they probably are, then you're in the right place.
Yep. Well, enough of this. Let's do this. Two Guys, Two Questions starts now. I think I just had a Tourette's tick or something. I didn't even realize what shirt I was wearing. I saw myself in the camera and said, well, shit fire. So, yeah.
The well, shit fire going.
Anyway, yeah. That's one of my catchphrases.
Well, shit fire?
It comes out more like, well, shit far.
Far.
But I couldn't find a shirt that said shit far. So, I think that probably means something really different if you...
Shit fire?
Yeah, shit fire, shit far. I don't know. But, I know what I mean when I say it.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. They laugh at me. I say, well, shit Farm Mamaw a lot. I guess that's my catchphrase, actually. Well, shit Farm Mamaw.
So have you ever heard like at a fraternity thing or something like that in the past where they go, oral sex is the shit papaw? Have you ever heard anybody say that?
No, never heard that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll talk.
We'll go ahead.
Yeah. Cut that out.
No, fuck it. Here it is. Tell me your story. I'll tell you mine, Ryan. Tell me what this means. For those of you just joining us in progress, Ryan was telling me something about oral sex is what, papaw?
The phrase oral sex is the shit papaw.
Oh, okay. What's it mean? Where's it from?
Back from college days.
Okay.
And, yeah, but listen, I got people that will listen to this that probably won't want to hear it.
No. This is family content, right?
Family content, yeah.
Okay. Seriously though, is there is it from something or?
But there was a party.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Me and a person walked out of the party, and she immediately goes out because remember for whatever reason, even the older people that were much older than me called me papaw for some reason, and I don't know why. But anyway, so she comes out of there, and she knew that, and big huge party, and she comes out and she yells, "Oral sex is the shit, papaw." So that became.
Is this anybody I know?
No,
you don't have to tell me who, but is it anybody?
I don't think so.
Nobody. Okay, fair enough. All right. No, evidently, I'll make this a real short story, but I'll tell you where shit Farm Mamaw comes from. Growing up, there was a kid that lived in my neighborhood. His name was Brandon. I think he's dead now. Anyway, man, that makes you old when your friends are fucking dead. Anyway, I lost track of him through high school anyway, but his parents and his grandparents lived side by side, and he mostly stayed with his grandparents. But Brandon was allowed to curse at home. So it was, I probably did too, but my mom would throw shit at me or something when I did it. But anyway, he would go in and he'd say, "Hey, Mamaw, I'm going to go stay with Jarrod tonight." And she'd say, "Now, honey, Brandon, I want you to stay home." And he'd say, "Well, shit for, Mamaw, shit for. Come on. You don't let me do nothing." So,
and that's just ingrained.
Yeah, that has stuck with me since probably being 12 years old or something. And I don't know. It's one of my more common explanations. That's why somebody gave me this shirt, actually. Again, you can't buy a shirt that says, "Well, shit far." So,
anyway, how would you spell that? Just out of
curiosity?
Far.
I guess it's just FAR.
Okay.
Really, it's but. I don't know. Most people, I guess, if you're not from around here, you don't understand that.
Yeah.
We live pretty close to Ironton, Ohio, but what's that called, Ryan? Do you know?
Ironton.
Is it Ironton?
Ironton.
Ironton, really? Actually, I probably do most. If I'm talking to somebody, I probably do. But in my natural habitat, my dad always still says it. But anyway, my natural habitat, I'm probably saying Arnton.
Arnton.
Arnton. Arnton. Arnton. But anyway, that's just a product of where we live in the world.
Colloquial.
Yeah, yep. Live up a holler in Arden. Yep. So anyway, what's going on, Ryan? Tell me something good.
Something good. It's not my question.
Okay.
But there is something I thought would be kind of interesting I'd like to know from you.
Fair enough.
What's a conspiracy theory
that
you don't believe, but you wish was true?
Oh, that the earth was flat.
Yeah,
for sure.
That was quick when you had that cocked and loaded.
I mean, I know it's not true, but it'd be cool if it was, I think. I'm not even sure why it would be cool if it was, but anyway, I mean, that's real quick. That's it. I love that conspiracy theory because most of the time those people will disprove themselves through trying to prove it to you. They will.
How does that work? If it's flat, I mean, because it never ends. So how does that work?
Yeah, well, you just fall off the fucking side like Christopher Columbus. You know, I don't know. That's just the quick one that came to my mind.
Because my thinking was that, which I don't believe in aliens, but I sure think it would be cool if it does. But I was just thinking that even if aliens walk the earth now,
sure they do, right?
And that's what. So if you do, but I still don't think. I think the reason we don't see as many sightings and stuff like that is they're done fucking with us. They don't like small talk.
Yeah, they don't care.
And they got all the info they needed from the early probings, back in the day if they were here.
I mean, if you think about it, what could a superior alien culture learn from us other than how to not get along with one another and probably implode our own fucking civilization and our own earth eventually?
Well, we're trying.
They'll learn what not to do by watching us. Let's watch. Hey, don't do that.
Stay away from that.
It's scary because I go through every day when we're about to record this. I cough up 30 questions to myself, and most of the time, by the time I get a really good one, I forgot 30 of the others. But I got another one. This is a cast-off question today.
Okay.
But it falls right in with what you were talking about. Which cryptid do you think really exists, or do you believe in cryptids at all, or do you think they're all like fucking real? Is Mothman out there? Is Bigfoot out there? I mean, are there critters out there that we don't?
I would say that the likelihood that there are, especially in the ocean.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be in the ocean.
But, I mean, I just think between all of the cameras and the video and everything that's out there, I think that's the reason that...
Yeah, but we don't have cameras 100 miles into the fucking woods in Alaska somewhere.
Yeah, but how many people are out there in the woods and these people are tracking and trying to find it? Why has no one ever actually got... we have the old grainy footage, and there's.
I mean, the short answer is because they're not there. But the much more fun answer is that they're just really good at fucking hide and seek. I mean,
do you think maybe they're the aliens, or they're wearing that's their skin or something to that effect, and they just go, yeah, fuck it, whoop, invisible cloak.
I don't know. I never really thought of it like that. Anything's fucking possible, I guess.
Because that would be a really cool way to fuck with the population and those fringe people, is for them to be like the Mothman.
Why are we fucking... You said who are we fucking with? Did you say French people? We're fucking with French people?
Fringe.
Oh, okay. I got you. I understand.
What
the fuck are we having?
Give me a cigarette.
Yeah.
Fringe.
Okay, yeah, French people. That makes a whole lot more fucking sense now. I just did not hear what you were putting down there. I don't know. Wonder when the last... Truly, like they find new species of shit every day.
Yeah.
But it's usually just, okay, we thought this was one species, but actually there's two here, whatever. Wonder when the last truly new fucking critter was found, discovered, and written down. Like, a zebra with 14 stripes on its ass, or whatever.
I don't know that answer.
I don't either. That's worth a Google later in life, I guess. Anyway, we've shitted around the... Wait a minute. First, I got to tell you something. Have you ever done something that was like a big monumental thing, and then immediately realized you fucked up on a grandiose scale? I ask you this question because I bought a fucking building last week, and I've now had a week to spend soaking in that building, and holy fuck, I am watching. I'm having nightmares about what my checking account looks like by the time we make this building livable. But it's a motherfucker in there. Like every single thing so far I've had it, 6 days or 7 days. And like, I mean, it's a standard $2,000 a day right now, and I haven't done shit. But every day they call and say, "Oh, well, the fucking toilets are fucked up. I got $700 worth of parts to fix all the shitters," and and the next day I got the fucking quotes for the getting it cleaned. I got the quotes for getting the front room fixed up the way I want. $25,000+ just to redo that front room and make it pretty. Haven't even started talking about upstairs yet.
What are you doing in there, though? Are you throwing up all new drywall? Or, I mean, what's that?
In the front room, yeah. Yeah, it's got to get drywalled and painted and get floor put down to be made pretty, Ryan. I mean, and we have to have a new podcast studio built upstairs. That's just going to be necessary.
That's not even included in all the nonsense at this point.
I haven't even let a contractor upstairs. The roll-up door that the fire department so graciously cut open, that's... they told us on the phone that a ballpark would be, $1,000 to $2,000. And when the guy got there to actually write the estimate yesterday, he said, "Yeah, that ain't going to cover it." So, getting all 4 new doors, getting it cleaned out. It's just, gosh damn, it's become a shit show already. And I think it'll be worth it when I'm done. But, man, it's going to be a while getting there.
Yeah.
I've told myself I'm not even going to get to try to move in there for 3 or 4 months, probably.
You think it's going to be that long?
Yeah, unfortunately I do right now.
I mean, I understand the front part, the show, but I mean, I would think as far as being able to eliminate the the warehouses and that kind of stuff, I would thought that would have been much quicker.
The fucked up thing is it's nasty, dirty, 18 feet in the air on the walls. So somebody's going to have to go in there with a pressure washer or a suck.
Did you not like the quotes that you got for the cleaners, professional cleaners?
No. And all that. All that old duct work and old piping and shit where there was a dry cleaner in there at one time, all that shit's got to get cut out because it annoys me, I guess. So that's more demo work. Can't even start cleaning until all the demo's done, really. I don't know. It's just a shit show all the way around. I'm not bitching. I'm just cursing myself over it a little bit every day because I feel very much, I think I told you this in text, I feel very much like Tom Hanks in the Money Pit right now.
I think what's going to happen with this is that when it's all said and done, you're going to be much happier versus everything that you got now, and you eliminate those costs and fees and all that kind of stuff. But it is never fun
getting there
in the process because all the money's going out, and it's hard to see the finish line.
Here's my problem, and you maybe know this way better than I do. If I put $200,000 in that building, it's still a shit show on 29th Street, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like it takes 20 years worth of property whatever. I've lost the word. Anyway, property going up to make it worth your while to do it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to increase the value. All that kind of stuff there is.
The roof is $108,000.
Wow.
Yep. Wow. Almost as much as the building. But that's what I get for buying a shitty building, I guess. But you know what? When it's done,
you couldn't have got that. But I mean, we looked at everything. A lot of other stuff. There wasn't anything even close to the size of it.
Overall, I'm still happy with it.
Yeah.
Because once all the work's done and I'm broke, it will be cool. It'll be what I wanted it to be instead of what somebody else wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, but it's got good bones. Just needs a new skin.
I tell you, honestly, what I completely get it because if you don't do this venting now, you're going to have a heart attack before you even get to see appreciate it. You got to vent, you got to get it out and get it over with.
Yep. And I was met with a contractor last night, and he said, "You know what? I think we're going to be in the $25,000 ballpark for the front room." And I said, write it up, I guess, and we'll see where it goes. But I know it's going to be one of those things that 25 turns into 35.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. This is
definitely get some other estimates.
First world problems. Yeah. Anyway, got a question?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Or do you want mine?
I
don't care.
Shoot. I'm cocked and loaded.
Throw it from me.
So, This is going to be a version of hell for you.
Oh, God.
And you get to pick which version of hell you want. So do you have two scenarios. One is everybody around you can hear your inner monologue and your thoughts going on in your head, or you have to hear everybody else's inner thoughts within a 10-foot radius. Which one do you want?
Okay. Can I sort them out? Or are they all just talking over top of each other?
You'll hear each one of those
if
inner
I look
thoughts.
at you, can I hear your thoughts? And if I look at somebody else, I can hear theirs?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely want that one. I want to be able to hear. Yeah, I don't want anybody inside my head for the most part.
I was just sitting there thinking, both of them are awful.
Yeah,
they
really
hell,
are both
because
awful.
you never get to stop hearing somebody's thoughts.
No,
But the other side is that I don't want everybody hearing what I got going on in my head all the time.
And there's a whole lot of other people's thoughts that you don't want to hear about you.
Yeah.
You know.
So you're going to get it all. So
yeah, definitely I want to hear other people's thoughts, but I need to be able to tune them out.
And that was a great question from a listener, by the way. And I was like, I like that.
Okay, yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah. Gosh, as long as you can select them, I think you can definitely use that to your advantage. I mean, have you ever seen the old Mel Gibson movie, What Women Want?
Woo! Yeah, where he throws his garage at him.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely, I see that as a superpower you could rule the world with, if you could learn to manage it. But I guess that's like any superpower. You know, you have
you have to learn how to tamper that.
You have to learn how to tame it.
If you go into a big party, there's no way to avoid not hearing it, because everywhere you look is going to be thoughts.
Yeah, I just don't know if you could process your own thoughts well enough hearing everybody else's, or would you, man, I don't know. But
there's a reason it's a version of hell.
Yeah. I can tell you for a fact I don't want people rattling around in mine.
Whatever you got to deal with on the other side.
Whatever I got to deal with on the other side of that. Yeah, I definitely don't want them hearing what's going on in my fucking melon. What about you? Which one are you?
I think
it's the same.
It's the same as much as I would hate that, because, a lot of times too, I mean, not to mention what you think about how somebody feels about you. And then you get oh, wait, I didn't realize I was a big dick. Yeah. It's like, everybody thinks I'm an asshole. Wait.
Yeah.
I've got enough of those that will let me know without me having to ask. But.
Yeah. So I've been, this is fucking TikTok for you, man. My TikTok algorithm has been like all these, lately has been all these self-help bullshit things for whatever reason. And one of the things that I saw the other day that, that really thought I could probably use that, is that if you want to be, I guess if you want the upper hand in a conversation, you have to be the person that's speaking the least.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing better in negotiations than just shut quiet. The fuck up and wait.
Yeah, and it says if you're managing people, you want to give a clear directive and walk the fuck away. You don't want to over-explain things or whatever. And I think I have problems with that. I have a lot of trouble with telling somebody to do something, and then immediately in my head I go to, now how's this person going to react to what I told them to do? And how do I need to soften that for them to make what I want out of them more palatable for them or whatever? And but sometimes I think I get way too caught up in that. To tweak
back over to the question, if you were just your inner monologue is going, they just know all that shit because it's already out there.
Yeah.
You say what you got to say, and then they hear the rest of your monologue.
Yeah. That would totally suck, really. So anyway, I'm trying to learn how to shut the fuck up a little bit more. I'm admittedly not a good boss of the people. The people that work for me, I truly do think they like me as a boss, but also I'm not a very effective boss to them, I think, because quite honestly, I want them to like me,
Yeah.
I care too much if they like me. So
it's a delicate balance.
I ask too many people to do things instead of telling them what I need them to do, and I think I've been too accepting of a lot of pushback from people a lot of times too. Can you do this? Nah, I don't really want to. Whatever. Not really like that. But you know what I'm saying. So then you try to find a workaround to make this person happy and that person happy and still get the shit done that you want to get done.
Now, how many times do you allow that to kind of turn into where you just end up doing it yourself?
Fucking 70% of the time. No, I mean, maybe not 70%, but a lot of the time. Yeah. And I also struggle a lot with, do I want to take the time to show this person how to do it, or do I just want to do it myself? You know, or I don't think this person will do that exactly the way I want. So instead of expecting them to do something exactly the way I want to, or the way I want it done, I just say, fuck it, I'll do it myself. I'm horrible at that. Really, I am.
Now you're just, I mean, all you're doing, you're just another employee in your own business.
I work for my employees. I mean, that is pretty much, I consider most of them, and arguably this is a good thing, at least the way I tell myself. I do consider that, yes, they are my employees, but it is my responsibility. I treat them like your drunk uncle. You know, you don't really want him at Christmas, but here he is, and he's part of the family, goddammit. You know? So we'll not tell him he's an idiot today. You know, or whatever.
Yeah, but the problem is you only go see drunk uncle at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I know.
And
then some of my employees I got to see every day.
Yeah.
What's going to be fun is if any of them would ever see this, trying to decide if they're one of the ones.
That's great.
Yeah.
They see that's the perfect reason not to have the monologue.
Yeah.
Because all of them are running through your head. You've rattled off every name in your head of who that is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, exactly. But also, a little bit of it's generational. You know, when I was growing up, I did a whole lot of manual labor type jobs and shit. And I learned a little bit about how to work on things and how to do things and how to do some work with my hand and load trucks and, you know, shit like that. Mm-hmm. Most 24-year-olds have no concept of...
But whose fault is that?
Probably old fuckers like me that haven't shown them.
Could it be their employer?
Yeah, I guess. But I find myself all the time saying, you know, so-and-so needs to go load that truck. Well, you know, he'll get hurt while he's doing it or whatever. So I better do that myself, you know, or whatever. I don't know. It's horrible. Like I said, I'm a horrible boss in that respect. I do let my employees walk all over me somewhat. A friend of mine told me the other day that he got a job drywalling when he was a kid, and he was up on a scaffold drywalling, you know, putting mud on a wall, and then the boss walked in really nice clothes, and it was like 10 o'clock in the morning, and he said, where in the hell have you, Bobby said, I was just playing with him, he said, where in the hell have you been all morning? It's 10 o'clock already. And he said, the guy started telling me where he was and explaining to me why he was late. And he said, I just let him talk. And then when he shut up, I said, you know what? You're the boss. Tell me to fuck off. You don't owe me an explanation.
Yeah.
You know,
I think there's a happy medium.
Yeah, I was just playing with you, you know?
Yeah.
But so I guess I understand that. Anyway, yeah, to put a bow on your question, nobody's getting inside my gourd. And if they do, Lord fucking help them. Really. I mean, Lord help them.
They're going to need some therapy after that.
Fuck yes, they will. You know, I can't even, I shudder at the thought of that, man. Damn.
Yeah, because it's funny,
I'm
whenever
a sick individual.
Whenever I thought about it, I was like, oh my God, how this would just be miserable if that somehow was bestowed upon me. I would hate that, to have my own. So I was curious if you would be the same way, because there's times whenever I've asked you questions on here that in my head, I was convinced I knew where you were going to go with it. Yep. And then I was like, what? You know?
This is not a question, but have you ever asked a question, me or anybody, that you really didn't expect they would answer, but they did, then they did? You know, it's like, oh, fuck, I didn't really think he was going to tell.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, I guess you say, how was your day? And you don't really expect somebody to tell you how their fucking day was. But that catches me off guard a lot, because I'll start conversations with people like at Walmart or whatever. Hey, how you been? Well, my fucking knee's hurting, my foot, you know, Johnny had to go to the fucking doctor. And
lost my Social Security.
Lost my Social Security. Yeah, it's been awful.
Had a bout of the gout.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, you ever had gout?
No, I have not.
I had it in my fucking knuckle one time.
Really?
Yeah, I never had it in my foot, but I had it in a knuckle one time. Fucked me up for a minute, you know. Luckily, I guess I'm not one of the people that gets it all the time, but can somewhere, because it's just the one time in my life, and I'm pushing 50, and just the one time. I hope it never
Hopefully
fucking
never comes back.
Yeah, no
that
shit.
stuff's nasty.
Yeah. All right, I got one for you. At what moment in your life, let's say you woke up that morning, or some pivotal moment where you went, fuck, I'm an adult? And what kind of impact did that have on you?
Obviously having kids,
Yeah,
will kind of punch you in the gut.
that didn't
with
work
that.
for me.
But, I think I can remember probably the first time that I was buying a house, that was, bought a house with my second wife. And that was, I don't know that I ever made a big deal of it at the time, but I remember at the time going, okay, this big boy shit now.
Yeah.
Not to, obviously it was that with the kids, but
Yeah.
just the way the life unfolded.
Yeah.
When we got married, then we had the kids, and it was just, okay, now you're living life and you got everything kind of there in front of you. But there's been multiple times probably throughout life where it'd be whether it be a job was probably,
Where you try to be an adult.
yeah.
Or you say, okay, it's time to be an adult.
And I think probably one of the first times was one of the first corporate type of jobs that I got, because there was, a couple different times, a couple things that I did after school, that after I graduated, that were more.
Did you sell OxyContin for a while?
No,
You
never did.
You didn't do that?
I never sold any drugs. My first pharmaceutical job was a pediatric drug, and then I went straight to cardiology from there.
Okay.
But yeah, but that was, I remember getting the first job and going, okay, because that was your first, hell, I think I worked 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. It was like an enterprise. It was a brutal job, but
I remember when you were at Enterprise. You ran
But that
a
was-
van cheap once.
yeah. But before that, I was kind of I did appraisal work and, did some stuff in real estate a little bit before that, but it wasn't, I didn't have benefits. I didn't have any of those kind of things. It was just, obviously you're self-employed. So, whenever I got that job, that was the first time of having that. And then, then it was all on, because I remember whenever I first got it, then it was like, okay, they're very clever and smart about the way they set it up initially to try to get people to stay there, because it's like, oh, if you do this after 4 months, then you can get this promotion.
Yeah.
And then if you do this 2 months later, you can get this promotion. Then you can start interviewing for management positions. And
So they set really specific goalposts and things to retain.
yeah, because everybody starts out, at least whenever I was there, everybody starts out as, and they had cute little titles. So everybody starts out as a management trainee. And then you take a test and prove certain things and hit certain parameters, then you can get promoted to a management assistant. And then after you do that for like a month or two, then you can start interviewing for assistant manager positions. Then of course manager, regional manager, district, all that kind of crap. But it was a very clever setup, but it was definitely something. It drove the shit out of me. I was like, okay, well, cool, I can do that, and I can get an extra $1,000 a year.
Yeah,
I want that as quick as possible. Oh, that's an extra $1,500. So you just keep climbing up. But
that's probably the thing I don't do. No, there's 100 things, but that's probably one of the things I don't do well enough with my employees is set very specific goalposts. If you do this, you'll get this kind of thing. I give them a raise every year, and I guess
you don't have that set against any parameters.
Nope.
It's just like
cost of living. More if you fucking showed your ass well, whatever. Or less if you showed your ass, I guess. Showing your ass is a bad thing. That's what my dad always said. Don't show your ass.
yeah, it's probably not a.
So,
Well, it depends on the setting.
always, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. So do you see yourself now as an adult? Like, this is a harder question. If tomorrow there was a big party at our fraternity house over in Moorhead, and they said, we want all you fucking old guys to come over, and an hour into the party and 3 beers in, do you see yourself as just one of the guys, or are you the fucking adult in the room that's looking around going, oh, fuck, why are all these kids here drunk?
Sadly, probably what's going to happen is if it's one of those things, it's like where you got to go back. It's like, well, Jarrod and Jason's going. Fuck.
Yeah,
that's going to be my thought. It's
fuck.
I'll have fun whenever I get there, and I can lean into whatever the atmosphere provides. That won't bother me. Even hanging around and that turning into 2, 3, 4 in the morning, that wouldn't bother me. So that portion of it, I don't feel old, but I feel like that. In my head, I'm going to have to get myself over a hurdle in my head or just back myself into a corner to where I can't not go.
Yeah.
And then I'll be fine. But yeah, so I mean, as far as I definitely see myself as an adult, and I'm starting to get to that point where I don't know that it's quite like I don't know it's a midlife crisis, but I am definitely struggling a lot here lately with, I want to figure out, I don't have a good end in sight. You know, I did at one point, and then kind of the U.S. went to hell, and now I was like, okay, do I really want to invest in to do that? You know, what I was wanting to do, or let's see how this plays out. But the challenge whenever I go to that is like, okay, so let's have this goal for 55. Well, shit, now 55, that's 5 more years gone.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, well, you retire, you know, do you want to try when you're 60 or 65? Well, shit, then, man, you know, how many really good years do you have left after that? I mean, what, 10, 15? I mean, if it's really good. So
have you been putting back money for retirement? Like you got a 401k or some bullshit?
Oh, I got 401ks. I got stock. I got savings. Yeah, I'm multi-tiered on that. So, I mean, the only thing that I haven't quite done is went to sit down with an advisor and say, okay, I want to be done here. Plus I got a lot of real estate, you know, I've got several buildings and those kind of things, which, you know, you could always liquidate.
Well, yeah. Or you just sit back and collect the rent checks maybe.
Yeah.
I always, you know, up until I was about 40 or so, I always said my retirement plan was to be so fucking loaded by the time I retired, I wouldn't care about retiring, you know, which I just always saw that, or always thought I was going to just do something that would, anyway, I always thought I was just going to have enough money where retirement wouldn't really be a thing and just like whatever. But, you know, I don't know about that. I
feel like it'd be good if I would retire in a quote unquote traditional. So in other words, I crank this out for another 65, you know, till you're 65 or 70 or whatever that is. Yeah. Problem is, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, the problem is I will never do that. I think if I'm 85 and I can walk, I'm going to be trying to figure out where to make a nickel. You know? I don't, which, you know what, my dad is enjoying his retirement so much. I think he, my dad's very traditional. He worked a job until he was 65 or so, and then I think he was about 65, and then just said, see you fuckers later, you know, and he's done nothing he didn't want to do since. And I envy that, but at the same time, I don't see that ever being me.
See, I definitely could see that being me. Yeah. The challenge is what I want to do is travel.
Yeah.
And I want to be...
Got to finance that
I want to be... Exactly. So that's more or less, you know, if I meet with advisors, like, okay, here's what I got. Mm-hmm. Let's say I lived, let's say I lived 85, 90, whatever that is, 100. I want to do this, this, and this. You know, what do I need to put anything more in there? Or like, oh shit, I've overcooked. Yeah. You know, and I still feel like that regardless of no matter what, that's a beautiful thing about real estate. I feel like I'll always still have an opportunity and still feel like I would enjoy doing some level of that. But I just want to get out and chase more joy.
Do you remember the, I guess he was a Social Security attorney, Eric Kahn. Yeah. I think there's a fucking documentary about him on Netflix. But anyway, he was, if you're listening to this, he was, that was his fucking name, right? The guy that had the Abe Lincoln statue.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. He was down in Prestonsburg or Pikeville or somewhere like that. Anyway, I think it was Eric C. Kahn. Anyway, he ended up getting caught paying off judges and bullshit.
He's the one that killed his family, right?
No. He didn't kill anybody. He just...
Who was the person? There was another judge or attorney. There was an attorney down that way that was paying off judges and...
That's him, but he didn't
in
kill
North Carolina or something.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's the... Yeah, I know that one,
because I think it starts with a C as
well.
Murdaugh.
Yeah, there's a documentary about him, too.
Yeah,
he killed his family. But anyway, this guy, he was like the guy you went to if you were trying to get disability. Come to find out, he was paying off all these judges.
Defrauding.
And anyway, he got caught. But my takeaway from the whole saga of that was you can't flee to South America with $20,000 because he took 20 grand cash and fled to South America, and he got caught because he ran out of money. So I always thought, well, fuck, it takes more than 20 grand to flee to South America. That was immediately my takeaway from that fucking story was, I'm going to have more than 20 if I'm going to never get caught.
Yeah, where's the more you know? Where's our little ding, ding, ding?
Yeah.
More than $20,000
to flee to South America. Yeah, I've always told my dad if I ever disappear and there's money in my safe, I'm probably dead. If I disappear and there's no money in the safe,
you disappear.
I disappear. Yeah. You ever have that thought? You ever be sitting at a red light and think this is intrusive thoughts right here. This is fucking, I'm pretty sure this is connected deeply to me being a bipolar motherfucker or whatever. But you ever just be sitting at a red light and go, okay, well, I'm supposed to go show the house. That's straight ahead. Or I could turn left and probably be in South Florida by midnight tonight and probably just never be seen again.
I can honestly say that I've never... Intrusive thoughts are one of those things that just fascinate me.
Yeah.
Because I
have them.
I don't tend to have a lot of, like, really wild... I mean, hell, everybody has them. But, Dixie and I will talk about this, or I'll talk about this with my daughter or something like that, and they'll talk, they'll just go on like it's something normal that they just have every day. It's like, I decided, not that they ever act on it, but they're just like, well, I wonder what happened if I just went in and steered to the right and went in the ditch.
Yeah.
I don't think that way.
I have friends that have told me that same exact thing. Well, what happens if I just drive off this fucking cliff? I don't have those. I don't have intrusive thoughts of killing myself, at least this week. But I do have...
well, see, now I find that as a win to circle back,
okay,
considering the money pit that you're going on, that's never entered your mind. That gives me high hopes, man.
I guess. Yeah. So far I'm okay. It's been a rough few years, but right now I'm pretty decent. But I do have now and then I do think, okay, so I could take the dog. Somebody would probably feed the fish, and I just fucking skate for a while, see what happens. Have you ever read the Rich Dad Poor Dad shit?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I think it was not actually Rich Dad Poor Dad, but another book he wrote that I listened to on an audiobook one time, and he said the difference in a small business and a big business is, can you walk away for 6 months, and will your business still be there when you walk away, or like when you get back 6 months later, will your business still be functioning? And I do try to set my business up that way. Like the stores, I have no doubt that I could walk away and never walk in one of the stores for 6 months and they'd still be there. So I think about, I could do that.
Yeah.
Do I fuck them? I think about a lot of times, do I fuck my own businesses up? Could they do better if I wasn't meddling in their life, or whatever? I know that's fucked up.
Because to me, that's an interesting... Once again, juxtaposed to what you just said earlier about you don't feel like that somebody could load a truck.
Yeah.
Or
that is
whatever that is.
Okay.
But yet you think you could walk away for 6 months. Well, guess what? There's going to be a lot of trucks loaded. Yeah.
So, actually, no. So I cost everybody else a lot of work, I guess. Given no input from me, the retail stores would just keep buying stuff and selling stuff, And they wouldn't be out chasing truckloads and estates and things like that. They would just be buying what walks in their door and putting a price sticker on it and putting it on the shelf and selling it. the piece they get with me is I show up and say, hey, I need 14 people to go load an estate I bought last week, or whatever. Like we bought this other store. And I guess that's my role in the company is to be out trying to find major, like big halls
fill the warehouses that they can pull from.
Yeah. But they could, on some level, I think, keep going without that input from me. They'd never grow. I'm the one that's always pushing for growth, and I'm the one that always, quite honestly, spins us into oblivion. Every time I think I made $30, I'm going to spend $32 for growth, find something else to buy. Man, I don't know. I'm fucked up. Like, I have all these fucked up ideas of things I'd love to do, things I think we should do, but I don't know. I don't implement a lot of them. A lot of them I do implement, and I feel like the people around me fucking hate me for. But I always feel like it's for their own good.
Well, and probably the reason being is, once again, circling back, is the fact that, they're your friend. You let them get away with stuff, you're asking them to maybe do something that's outside of their comfort zone or outside of what they feel like is their job, and they know if they push back, you're going to go, okay.
Which is why I need to start a moving company, because if you take people that work in a retail environment every day, if you take kids that essentially work at the mall, let's say that, and you tell them, okay, we're going to go 40 miles down the road in a 26-foot truck, and we're going to manual labor style pack up some old lady's estate. We're going to load it on a 26-foot truck and on pallets, and then we're going to go to the warehouse and pallet jack that shit out of it. They hate you for that when they're used to working in an air conditioning environment. And I've never been. I don't know if I've ever bought an estate where they had the fucking air conditioning turned on. It's like even the one last week. That store. That dude worked in that store and never had air conditioning in that store in probably 30 damn years. Wow. He just propped the door. Hell, he didn't have running water either. He went to Applebee's to take a piss. It was right next door, but and I think about the difference in the way he's ran that business. He's been successful. He's been there 30 fucking years. And even though he's not there today, 30 years is a pretty good measure of success for a business operator. But he's been there.
God, I would imagine so, especially in that market.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I'm sure that everybody would love to do that, but then they get into it real quick and go, oh, wait.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I tell everybody I got into comic books because I was lazy, and then I remembered they're heavy. When you fill boxes full of comic books, they're heavy as shit, 60 to 80 pounds. So, anyway, I don't know where the fuck I was going with any of that, but looping around, I'm fucked up. I have intrusive thoughts that say, I want to disappear to Guatemala or whatever. Usually I say Bali or Belize or one of the B places.
One of the B's?
Yeah, one of the B's. Bali, Belize, Benin, somewhere like that. There's another one I use all the time.
So but for you, though, that's more of the jungle and the animals, right?
Because
you're not
that's not the
person.
beach. Fuck the beach. I don't like sand. Get sand between my toes.
That's the reason I swear I think we should do a 2 guys trip.
Yep.
And we alternate days to who gets to control what our schedule is.
Yep.
Because your ass is going to be on the beach if it's mine, and we're going to be chilling and drinking some Mai Tais. And with you, I'm going to be getting beat by mosquitoes and covered, which I think would be fun. But it's
be out flipping rocks and shit, looking for snakes.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've told you this. This is just Jarrod wisdom that you have to flip a lot of rocks to find a snake.
Yep.
All right. Making sure.
Shit far. Shit far.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. Yeah.
And just like that, another episode of 2 Guys, 2 Questions is in the books.
We laughed. We learned. Well, we mostly just laughed.
Yeah, and if you made it this far, congratulations. You now have random knowledge you never asked for.
You're welcome.
Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review. Or don't, but just know if you don't, we're bringing back the squeaky toys.
Oh, it's coming back either way.
Until next time, same 2 guys, 2 questions, and absolutely no idea what we're doing.
Perfect.